In the world of Azwa, political unrest led to a war that lasted over 1,300 years. Ancient elementals, celestials, fiends, and fae were enslaved and forced to fight. Countries were razed to the ground, and the fallout of the destructive magics used left the land arid and mostly devoid of life. The gods later joined in, some to protect Azwa and others for personal gain. They too were betrayed and used by treacherous archpriests, elder demons, and ambitious lower gods consumed with a desire for power. Inevitably, the events forced the gods of order and reason to intervene and banish nearly all outsiders meddling in the struggles of Azwa. They locked the world away in order to prevent the war from spreading to any other planes. Since that fateful day, Azwa has been isolated, unable to reach any of the inner or outer planes. Their prayers go unanswered, while their feuds escalated as blame was thrown around. In their desperation, 4 of the greatest powers of Azwa, Fayette, Karib, Malaris, and the Federated Alliance of the Free States of Azwa, concocted a deadly and ambitious plan. They would extract the very core drives that make life go on: kinship, industry, dread, and growth, and turn them into tools against their enemies. They harvested and transformed these drives into physical form, tools which would blindly follow the orders of their creators. These 4 beings were henceforth referred to as the Primal Titans. With such immense power, all who opposed these allied nations were swiftly eliminated. They unified the remaining nations of the world under their 4 banners before old feuds resurfaced, and they inevitably turned on one another. In the end, only Fayette and Fafsa were left standing and unwilling to let go of this war. The final battle, now known as the Last Dawn, rattled the entire world and left behind an otherworldly glow in the sky. This purple and gray hue bathes the world in a pallid light at all times. Rumors say that the remains of the last 2 titans lie in a crater somewhere in the southwestern coast of Fayette, their corpses locked in a dying embrace. Fayette and Fafsa still claim victory with their survivors living behind the safety of their walls, sealed away from the world they brought to the brink of destruction. Even now they scheme, hoping to rebuild the world to meet their own twisted desires.
After centuries of bad luck, an unlikely bunch crossing paths somewhere in the border of Malaris and Fafsa will trigger a chain of events that might breathe life into the world once again. Let's take a look at the community. Manuela is a 60-something-year-old human woman with gray hair and a weak frame body. She was alerted by one of her scouts that 2 outsiders have arrived into the community and that they needed to be interviewed. For now, they are being hosted in the guest tent, and Manuela opens up the flap to meet
a scrawny man wearing a purple tunic and a brown hooded cloak is sitting off to one side of the tent. He is studying a large leathered book with an olive branch staff resting at his side.
Well, hello, dear. Oh boy, you ain't nothing but skin and bones. What's your name, sweetie?
I close the book before she gets too close, and I look at her and said, "Good day, ma'am. My name is Randall. What is your name?"
Oh, I am Ella. I am the elder around here. Welcome to the community. I'm glad to find a poor soul to embrace and care for. We are here all for each other. We call each other the community. We have been running around what's left over of this continent, finding like-minded people who want peace and to be independent of all the dramas of the past. And if you share these ideals with us, you'll be welcome into our community and be one of us. I hear there was a second person. Do you know where that person went?
Oh, he stepped outside in the back for a smoke. Hold on a second. Rufus! Oh, Rufus!
A large beard and dirty ranger's garments hide a broad build with slightly fewer than too many muscles. His 2 swords are sheathed at either side of his leather armor. The religious markings on his armor still visible despite being scratched out. He speaks in a booming voice but is somewhat hard to understand.
What do you want? The community's leadership is here to speak to us.
Very well. Give me a minute. And then I slowly enter the tent, somewhat annoyed.
But yeah, you see the frail old woman there. She greets you with the sweetest smile in the universe. She's like, "Oh dear, welcome, welcome. My name is Ella. I am the community's elder and leader. I was just letting your friend here know, or I mean not your friend, that this young boy here, that if you are a like-minded person and your goals align with ours, you'll be more than welcome to join us. But for now, you are a guest. You will have enough food and water for one day. And if you decide to go different ways, we will provide you with as much information as we can. Tonight, we'll be meeting in the communal dinner, where you will be introduced to the rest of the community.
Fine.
And you will meet our pride and joy. The boy who, without him, this community will be in shambles, really. So be prepared for that. He is a speaker of our group. He is our youth advocate. And he is an outstanding young man.
He sounds like a pride and joy of the group.
Sounds like an idiot.
She giggles. She's like, you'll get to meet him soon. And she steps away and...
You said there was a party?
Well, she comes back. She's like, no party. I don't think this is a time to celebrate. But we do gather each night to share the events of the day and to sup together. She steps away and she tells you, please be ready to socialize with the rest of the community. If you have any weapons, make sure that you don't bring them to this gathering. There's going to be children there. And we try to keep the children as innocent as possible. So.
Are walking sticks okay?
She looks at everything and she's like, yeah, it should be fine.
Okay.
But she pointed out to your 2 swords. You can keep them here for now. They'll be safe. Just be mindful, yes?
Very well.
Until later.
Manuela, right now, the camp that you're standing in, it's the leftover remains of a military facility of some kind. There is a half destroyed brick and mortar wall that surrounds a lot of destroyed buildings. 7 in total. You are in the one closest to the biggest opening in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always 2 people patrolling your building. They're not like actively guarding you, but they stay within ear and eye shot.
Okay.
Manuela walks across the facility up to the building used for storage and to keep any prized belonging that are part of the community. Where Silas has been working today. Silas, please introduce yourself.
So Silas is wearing like green and brown leathers. The fact that he's got some green leather there means that obviously the community has taken some steps to provide him with some nice threads. He has on his lapel a gold pin with the symbol of the community on it. It looks sort of like a rhombus sun in front of a tilted cross, unless we change that symbol for something more interesting later. And the screen flashes as his stats come up on screen. Neither short nor tall, neither skinny nor a chunky boy, Silas Cantor is the pride of the community. With a die-hard soldier for a mom, he was born near the front lines as the calamity of the last dawn occurred, but he miraculously survived unscathed. Now he is celebrated in the community as a symbol of hope, divine champion, straight-A student, and all-around good boy. He is Silas Cantor, the survivor, Dreadborn, the babe from the crater, and the hope of the community. And today is his 17th birthday.
Silas, sweetie, we have 2 people in the guest tent, and I invited them over tonight for the gathering to see what their intentions are and all that. Please be there, dear. It'll be a shame if they miss to meet you. I know you're busy with all that, and Yara will be back from scouting tonight, so it'll be a great chance for maybe adding some one of them looks very strong. That could be a good addition to our scouts team.
Oh, yes. I'd love to make a great impression with them, just as soon as I'm done sweeping up at the general store.
She walks away, and the 2 of you, Rufus and Randall, During the rest of the day, you are provided with rations for 1 day. You're provided with a gallon of water each, and with instructions that if you want to go trade in the community's storage unit, you can do that, and you'll be escorted there.
I'll just stay behind and study my book, and I will also monitor my rations to try and use half of what they give me.
All right, Rufus.
I eat. I sleep. I ignore the other people.
All right. So night.
So you are being great members of the community. Looks fantastic.
Silas, unless you wanted to do something else, if you wanted to go take a look at the 2 new arrivals, nothing of note worthy of note happens.
I'm good for now. I won't force a scene.
Don't make a scene.
After nightfall, you are all summoned into the community's hearth. Once you arrive, again, you two, Randall and Rufus, are very friendly. 2 very friendly guards sit down next to you and challenge you into one of the corners of the hearth. The hearth itself, it's a pile of magical logs. They don't seem to be made out of wood. They seem to be made out of some composite material that lights up and provides warmth and heat. The rations were already passed around. People just take out the rations. They start eating and talking and sharing about their day. Together, there are 7 elders sitting across from you. The rest of the people in the community is a mix and match collection of about 20 other people. A lot of them are non-combatants, either because of injuries or of age. There are, in total, you can see 17 guards around you, and by guards I mean able-bodied adults with weapons in their hands. 2 of them are sitting next to you, and one of them is standing right next to Ella. She looks to be a tall, lean young girl with brown hair and a braid going down one of the sides. She's wearing a breastplate made out of chopped up leather and leftover mechanical parts, loose pants, and just black boots. She's holding a very long spear with a wide head, and the handle itself is made out of metal. Silas, what time do you want to approach the campfire? Because you have the ability to come in and out whenever you want.
Why, yes, Hank. Miss Martha's peach cobbler is fantastic. I hope we can find some peaches sometime soon. I've been there for quite a while.
All right. So the Randall and Rufus, what you thought was just another non-combatant near the old people, eventually...
Ooh, perfect. I decided I want a cape. So my cape brushes aside, and you can actually see that I've got a sword with me. It's peace-bound, but it's there, whereas no one else was allowed that privilege.
Other than the guards.
Well, the guards are guards.
And Manuela stands up eventually once the 2 of you arrive and have partaken in just, socializing with the other members of the community. The children are very, very friendly, and they have been pestering you the whole time, asking you questions, specifically to Rufus. They're very, very curious about you because you speak funny and you're very big and hairy, which is not common in among the people who are in the community. One of them is like, "Hey, mister, why are you so big and hairy? What's that thing in your chest?" And he points at your armor that's all like scratched up and beat up.
It's armor, and it's none of your business.
Well, no need to be an asshole about it. And he runs away. Like he kicks your sheet and runs away.
I am what I am.
Eventually, Manuela gets up and she claps her hands and she's like, "Well, Rufus and Randall, welcome to our community. Here is the speaker of the community," and she points at the young man that had the peace-bound sword by his hip. And he's like, "Silas, these are the most recent addition to the community."
Hello, I am Silas Cantor. It's great to make your acquaintance.
I'm Rufus McBarley-Sheath.
You have a great voice, Rufus.
If you say so.
I'm Randall Cunningham. The pleasure's mine, sir.
So Silas is clearly younger than both of you, and I don't know how tall Randall is, but I assume Silas is shorter.
5'6".
Okay, so like Silas and Randall are about the same height, but like Rufus is definitely taller and more
He's a big
physically
dude.
fit. Silas is like more of a leaner, like he's not super skinny, but like he's the Japanese schoolboy, not the all-American football player. He's got short but neat black hair, and yeah, he's just welcome. We don't have much, but we'd like to offer you what we do have. Silas, like, he knows everybody, and he's trying to have conversations with you throughout the night, but he keeps, like, he stops and plays with the 7-year-old girl who comes running up, or the kid who kicked your shins.
Stupid kid.
Let's play hide and seek away from the big scary guy.
I guess that worked out.
But yeah, he's like chatting with everybody and trying to like liven the party, even though there isn't much party to be had.
Manuela, while Silas, after his introduction to you two, Manuela approaches you in private, and she's like, well, let me tell you a little bit more about myself. We would like for you, if you feel comfortable, sharing your story with the community, because we'd like to know a little bit more about you two and what have brought you here. What's your journey been? Please share it with us, and we might be able to bond over it. I myself, in my youth, was a nurse. I was part of the FAFSN army. I had this great ideals of saving the world one person at a time, and I was meant to be there. I was meant to be at the last dawn. I was actually on my way there on a ship when everything went down, and me and the elders here, she points at the other 6 old people. We are all the survivors of that horrific day, and on the way back to the land, we found on a floating wreck that boy over there. She points at Silas.
Wow, Yara, what a great club you've made for bludgeoning scorpions and the like.
She's like, he may seem a little boisterous, but he's a good boy, and we really have a lot of hope that he is the beacon of hope that we'll need. And we like people who have the betterment of the world in their heart to be with us. So please share with us, if you feel comfortable, what has brought you here today. And she sits back and you have the floor. And everyone like shuts up when she points at the fire, and they all look at you quietly and hungry for information.
Rufus definitely doesn't share first because he does not like most people.
Well, if it is story time, I shall regale you with a story. A tale, I shall say.
Silas
You
is
see-
sitting in the front row with like 4 kids.
Rufus's eyes roll so hard you can hear it.
You see, when I was 8 years old, I was marooned on a beach here in Fasfa. It was the morning after the last dawn, actually. I was escaping from my homeland. See, I'm not from this continent. I'm from Fayette. My parents, they made the greatest sacrifice of all on the day of the last dawn. They sent me torpedoing across the great oceans to this continent. They gave me, well, that book I was reading earlier. And I arrived here. I wasn't the strongest, but I had my wits, and I used it to survive until I stumbled upon this great community. And your generosity has not gone unnoticed, and I hope to contribute to you guys' great community.
Hear, hear!
Manuela is like tearing up. She's like, oh, I will hug you if I could, but I'm kind of like far away and I don't want to get up. But
I'm also skin and bone. Can you not see? And like I show like more, like I'm even more skinny than she thought I was even.
yeah, she's like, yeah, we gotta find you a boy. You are in a place where your skills will be used, and you'll have people that will compensate for the skills that you're lacking. And then she turns to Rufus and she like nods in Rufus' direction. She's like, I hope you're more comfortable now. He has opened up his heart and shared his story with us.
Begrudgingly, Rufus looks at them and says something to the effect of, well, if it'll get this over with. When I was 7, my parents were taken by the church to go to the front and die. A decade later, I left the church. I totally lost the voice. What am I doing?
Try again.
Lost the church.
It's our
Arnold.
It's our first recorded D&D game.
Remember Arnold.
Do whatever you
totally
need to
lost
do
it.
to
I have a
good
feeling I'm
time.
gonna have to re-record a couple times anyways. So.
When I was 7, my parents were taken by the church to go to the front and die in their war. And that's when the clerics and the paladins took me to train me as a warrior. A decade later, I left. Didn't want anything to do with that bullshit. It was later that month that the sky changed. And I knew there's no home to go back to.
I love Rufus's rotating accent while you figure out.
I can't figure it out.
Voice.
I like it when it's more Arnold, but I also like the Scottish voice. I'm in for both.
Just do both. Who cares?
We'll go back and forth. I don't know.
My friend, you found a new place to call home, if you'd like it. Silas, stands up, comes up to, your shoulder, and offers you his hand.
I suppose Rufus would probably very quickly shake his hand and then put his hand down.
Friends, let's feast. There's 4 string beans. Let's have a great evening, because tomorrow, I'm sure, will be another adventurous day for us.
Indeed. Yara, the young girl that you saw earlier talking to Manuela, stands up and gets near the logs. And she's like, well, people, I have great news. It seems as if this place is going to be our last camp. We just finished scouting all of the surrounding areas up to 10 miles around this location, and there's no Nil. And for those of you who may not remember, Nil are those people who, after the last dawn, have been damaged in a way that I can't describe. They just walk around aimlessly with no desire to live and nothing but this primal hunger. Anyways, this location seems to be far away from any of them, and wild beasts also are very rare, but still we have plenty of things to hunt. We found a few cockroach nests nearby, and if you don't mind working hard for it, there are things that can be caught in the water as well, which we'll discuss later in the hunters meeting. But for now, this seems like our new home. The community have found its place. No more wandering around Ella. No more commutes, as we used to call them. We have finished our last commute. Let's celebrate! And she pulls out this jug of a dark, slushy substance that gets passed around. And if you want to try some of it, it tastes like very, very, very bad homemade wine. It's just hooch.
What does it smell like?
It smells like fermented berries. Like honey and berries fermented into a meat-like juice.
I think that wine is probably the only thing all night that Rufus seems actually excited about, as he drinks far too much of it.
You can have my portion, don't worry.
I was gonna say, I think that Silas doesn't drink because he's too busy keeping an eye on the kids and talking to the guards, and he's got important things to do tomorrow, so he can't have a hangover.
My character's too scared too.
All right. Eventually, during that night, you keep talking to the other members of the community. If you want to interact with any of them, let me know. But people that catch your attention are among the elders. There is this old man who is missing a leg, and he has a prosthetic made out of again very patchwork pieces of equipment. It has metal, it has ceramic in it, glass, and it moves. It has a knee, has a foot, and it seems to be a very well crafted, even though the materials are shitty, prosthetic.
What's his name?
Do you want to talk to him? Approach him.
Oh.
And then you find out that girl Yara, even though she looks young and frail, it's the leader of the community's scouts and guards. She's also the weapons mistress, meaning that she's the one that makes and repairs all the weapons that everyone has.
Who's in charge of that scout team that went around for the
Yara.
Yara. Okay, then I think I'd like to chat with her a little bit, but let me know if we're gonna end up just saying the same plot information twice, because we can fade out on this scene.
Oh no! Like Yara is sitting down next to you.
That's when we fade out.
Actually, Yara is getting drunk with Rufus, and if you want to approach her, you're welcome to.
Oh, well then I will join them, and it's rude not to drink, so I'll have a cup for the whole time that I'm there. Rufus, I see you've met Yara. She is one of our strongest warriors.
She'll drink with me. That's nice.
Yara, I wanted to know more about this land that we found.
Oh yeah, so it seems that this used to be some sort of military facility where they crafted and assembled machinery. Nothing too fancy, and it was quite far away from their from any city. And we got very lucky. At least 10 miles around, nothing. We didn't find anything of harm to us. So we got very lucky here.
Probably didn't find it because you don't know how to look.
Well, excuse me, Mr. Newbody over here. This hooch really got to your head. We have lived and survived out here by ourselves for a long time. Who are you to say that?
Oh,
All I
Randall
know.
has his hand up.
No, I was actually saying Randall wants to kind of walk over to you guys, not participate, but just observe.
Okay, so Randall's just hovering.
Yeah.
All right.
Meanwhile, Rufus is responding. All I know is anyone who thinks they're safe in this world is wrong and stupid.
Well,
Those are very wise words. But by banding together, we can do our best to support one and all.
and
Can try.
I'll have you know, sir, that we are not stopping our mandatory scouting routines. The schedule may be a little more lenient now than when we were on the road, but still, we will keep ourselves safe. We have not failed so far. There may have been some mishaps here and there, but never will I fail my community. And she thumbs her spear in the ground and gets up, kind of in a grumpy mood after you doubted her skills.
Not her skills, her intelligence.
And on the way out, she gives Silas this look of new people.
I'm sure we'll all be friends in short time, Yara. And I give her an awkward pat on the shoulder, because that's, I think, what she needs right now.
So I walk, as soon as she and Silas finish that, I walk up to Silas and I go, I couldn't help but over here, I'm a little curious, what are the defenses during the nighttime?
Usually, the community is a nomadic group. So we do have scouts that ride out. Our horses, we have a couple. We have scouts that run out and look ahead, and we do post watch. We also occasionally use the cans on strings technique.
Randall kind of looks at you closer,
You put whatever scrap metal you have on strings, and when things run into the wire, you are alerted.
So an alarm system.
Are there some of them are casters? Do we
Only
have it?
the elders. None of the young people are spellcasters, and they do not you're saying this as Silas, as you trying to kind of know more than you do, kind of a little bit, because Silas wouldn't be out doing scouting.
Silas does not do the scouting. No.
All they do is a call out system. That's how they. If one of them finds something out of place, they do a hooting, caw caw.
We have protocols in place for safety. But while we do lack in the old magics, we do find our way as a group. And as he opens his hand, there's like a little version of him that gives you a salute, and we are not completely devoid of the old magics.
Can I make an Arcana check on that device that he held?
It wasn't a device.
The little hand.
Yeah, you can make an Arcana check. You probably have the same cantrip.
It's a minor illusion.
Prestidigitation.
Oh.
Okay, first d20, which is a unnatural 20.
It was definitely a prestidigitation.
Yay.
I think, considering you do have that, right?
No, I do not.
Oh, well, there you go.
You know what? Just for the shit and giggles, one of the kids is gonna be a sorcerer, and he's starting to develop his cantrips.
Good for him. I'm glad that the shit kicker is getting more. And
I
more
am
definition.
tempted. I am tempted to make the annoying kid be the sorcerer.
So, I look at Silas and I go, oh, well, if you could, in the morning, I would like to explore the community more to understand the defenses of this area.
Of course. I will speak with my grandmother and we will see what we can do. I don't want us to miss any important meetings, but I bet we can go for a walk around the perimeter with Yara's accompaniment.
Awesome. Well, for now, let us enjoy this night. And you see, kind of like my hand become like a spectral form as it goes away and grabs one of the green beans and brings it back to us, and I share it with you.
Thank you very much. Here, we have 2 oranges tonight. You may have a slice to fight off scurvy.
Speaking of which, I read up on scurvy, and it's horrifying. It swells up your gums until like you cannot eat anymore. And the only way that they used to treat it back in the time was by cutting open your gums and digging for your teeth.
Ugh. And this was your scurvy PSA.
While we're on tangents, we've been in this village one day and they've already mentioned like 3 different meetings. Is this like an office? Like what is going on here?
It's a bureaucracy community.
I mean,
okay?
they only mentioned one meeting, which was the scouts
They like
meeting.
worship Google Calendar or some shit.
You know what? Sometimes real life meets fantasy.
I suppose.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go run over to Yara and see if she wants to take me and Randall around the a tour in the morning, before we can have our meeting with Manuela.
Absolutely.
And we'll invite Rufus. I don't see any reason to exclude the new person from the tour.
This is the meeting to talk about the scouts.
We thought we would go for a walk around some of the perimeter and see how some of the scouts operate.
And the general defenses of this camp.
And then we will attend the meeting telling us about this exciting news.
I suppose I should check to make sure that we're not all gonna die.
I appreciate your concern, good friend.
Question mark. All right, so you guys go to sleep. You two are still being held. Not held. You two are offered to stay in the guest tent.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happens overnight. You wake up in the morning, and the first thing you see when you wake up is Manuela and the flap of her tent. She's like, "Good morning, dears. Get yourselves ready for the day, and we're gonna make some decisions today. You haven't already given rations for yesterday, so today, if you would like to stay, you have to make up your minds about before we break fast. Now, chop, get ready. Is there anything specific you want to do before you get ready? You can take your weapons with you if you want. This is
Obviously, I'm taking my weapons.
Well, I mean, we're going for this nice little walk instead of going directly to the plot meeting, so...
I'm gonna switch out a spell, comprehend languages for detect magic.
All right, sounds good. You come out of the tent and you see Manuela and the guy with the prosthetic leg. And they're like, well, so are you two staying? Are you leaving? Because Hank over here was going to give you a map if you needed for the nearby areas and safe routes that we have already explored in the past. If you are staying, I'm here to guide you over to your housing space.
I believe I have a morning scouting meeting with Yara and Silas, so I will be staying, I hope.
Yes, you do, but you are no longer just a guest. Guests are not allowed here longer than
I
just
was
one day.
hoping to stay.
Well, welcome. I just need to make sure your intentions here, young man. And she looks at you, Rufus. She's like, dear, how about yourself? Are you heading out? Are you staying? I'll remind you that if you stay, you're going to have to report to Yara. She's going to give you a job and a shift.
Well, I thought we were gonna do some kind of scouting.
So I take it you're staying. You are now one of our scouts.
Yay!
I
We
suppose.
have such a great vetting policy.
So they guide you over to one of the abandoned buildings that was already divided up into barracks. And each room has a bunk bed. Imagine it's just a dorm. They bring you over to a dorm and they're like, well, you two will be sharing.
Can I get the top bunk because I'm the smaller one?
I suppose.
Oh, thank God you're not going to crush me in the middle of the night.
Manuela is just like standing at the door like, okay. Good to know. No crushing is going to be happening. The room has just bunk beds. The room has just a set of bunk beds that have been reinforced with metal and screws here and there. There is a desk-ish. It's just a giant block of concrete, and around there are two turnover crates that serve as chairs. There's a lamp and a bucket.
Is the bucket for what I think it is?
She's like, honey, I'm not gonna tell you how to do your thing, but there's a bucket there if you need it. And she leaves the room. Eventually, Yara.
We have desk lamps, but not toilets.
Water and electricity are very different things.
Yeah, they are. They're very different.
The lamp itself, it's not electric. It's just a gas lamp.
Okay.
And they explain to you that it works with kerosene, that it's still being found around. Instead of oil, by the way, this world runs on kerosene.
Okay.
Which, that's how I grew up. Back home, electricity doesn't really work that great. So as a kid, I used to live in my grandma's house and use like those kerosene lamps. I'll never forget the stupid stench. It's so bad. It's so memorable.
Oh, yeah, my grandmother had one of those. It was mostly decorative, but I played with it a lot when I was...
We used them in Boy Scouts.
Oh, fun.
Kerosene lamps?
I think so.
So
Are you
talking
sure you
about
don't mean
tangents.
No, propane were the nice ones.
Yeah.
But I thought we had.
You haven't been able to, like, buy modern kerosene lamps for
No, I thought we did.
decades.
Well, maybe. I don't know. Let's play D&D.
The ones, yeah, this is one of those that has like a little wick that you like twist the little thingy. Yeah, that's exactly what they give
They,
you.
like,
Got it.
basically don't sell those anymore.
I remember the like little rope wick thing.
It's so weird.
And like the glass thing on the top that got super hot. Eventually Yara comes to you, Silas, and wakes you up like way too early. Way too early. She's like, Silas, wake up! I'm gonna take this, especially the big one. That one I'm gonna put through the ropes today.
What?
Silas, it's me. Come on, wake up. Get ready. Oh, I'm being a little loud.
There's like a lot of shuffling noises, and then, yes, it takes more than one drink to put Silas Cantor under the weather. Inside his room, he's got like these deep bags under his eyes, and he's like scrubbing frantically. It's just sand and water as his astringent, but he's going through his skincare routine. And a few moments later, after hastily pulling on his boots and cape, he comes. Good morning to you, Yara. Let us make haste and take our new friends on this dangerous journey.
All right, let's make it happen. Yara today, instead of using her long spear, is holding a long metal pole with a thin axe blade on top of it that she uses when she means business. That's probably the best weapon she's made, and she usually takes it out on dangerous patrols. They come to meet the two of you at your new home, and
I'm dressed, ready to go. You see I have my olive branch staff in my hand, except for now you see there is a white crystal gem at the very top of it.
alrighty. She looks you two up and down. She's like, well, let's go. Come on, kids. Chop, chop.
I follow. I don't see a reason to say anything.
I don't know, maybe just in case, giving you some space, Rufus, to throw one of your little smart quips.
Rufus doesn't like to volunteer things.
So she takes you on a long walk, takes most of the day around the perimeter of the camp. Like you said before, this just seems to be an isolated facility. That there is nothing around. But during your
Was that an encounter check?
during the scouting tour of the facility,
Yay.
make up. Okay, go ahead.
Do I see like any like major holes in the walls that need desperate repair, a guard tower location, stuff like that?
So I'll give you the description of the facility in 1 second.
Okay.
Let's do it first. So yeah, the walls around the facility are 10 feet high at the best place and 5 feet low at the most broken down places. So there is a wall mostly all around the facility, and the gate to it is heavily guarded. By heavily, I mean there's at least 3 guards at all times near the gate. The gate has been long gone because it was not made out of stone or resilient metal, and there are no guard towers. All the buildings have mostly collapsed or mostly being brought down. You are still working on some of the buildings to make them inhabitable again. That's pretty much it. And in the center of it, there used to be what looked to be like a parade ground, which is where you congregate most of the day, and that's where most people spend their day, like doing tasks. And there's tents, not tents, but tarp. Yeah, there's like long pieces of tarp put together as like a big.
Did you say carp?
Yeah, carp looks like the fish. It's a giant carp.
It's magical.
During your scouting trip, though, what's your passive perceptions, all 3 of you?
18.
Mine is 14.
And Rufus?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I ever worked it out.
Wisdom.
It should be in the bottom here. It should be 10 plus your wisdom, whatever you...
12.
And you're proficient.
Are you proficient in perception?
No, I don't think so.
So it's 12. The person with a 14 was Silas, right?
Yeah.
So Silas, during your scouting trip, it's just the 3 of you and Yara, and she's walking around telling you, oh, here we are 5 miles away from the perimeter of the facility, and as you can tell, nothing wrong. And she keeps looking at you, Rufus, like being very braggy about knowing the space very well. But Silas, while you're walking around distracted, just like minding in your own world,
I'm looking aggressively around. Like I am checking. I am looking in all directions, very attentively.
the ground beneath you starts to shake, kind of like tremor style, and
I did not look that direction.
you're able to tell that something it's digging its way out of the ground, and you see cracks in the dry caked floor. You see the floor starts to crack a little bit.
What's that? And I just Yara, you know how to handle this situation, right? Take a d6.
Are you inspiring me?
I am giving you a bardic inspiration and
Thank you.
Go NPC.
Yara's like, fuck! Cockroaches! Stand back, everyone! I'll handle this! And let's do initiative.
While we're rolling initiative, Rufus yells, "Nothing wrong, eh?"
Can I get a piece of paper?
That would be a 13 for me. The papers will be.
I gotta figure out which die is gonna be Silas's die. Let's see. We'll try this one. That was a 12 for me.
All right, Silas 12. Randall.
13.
I rolled a 2. Man,
You're
we're off
too
to
busy.
a great
You're
start.
too busy
Well,
gloating.
Yeah, too busy gloating to actually do
Nothing
shit.
wrong going on, huh? Nobody.
That's plus your dexterity, though. Plus your dexterity modifier.
Yeah, but it's still, I rolled a 2. It's a total of 5, but like still, that's not good. That's my point.
All right, I'm gonna roll for Yara.
It's hard to roll much worse than a 2.
Well, there's always the legend.
Yeah.
Right.
And the roaches. All right, Randall. As soon as Yara screams, stand back. 2 giant cockroaches, about the size of a pit bull, pop out of the ground, and they start hissing at you very loudly. Their mandibles are dripping with some disgusting-looking saliva, and they are very, very clearly here to feed. They were just waiting around until something disturbed the ground to pop out and eat it. What do you do?
So, I'm going to position myself to have the big guy in front of them and me.
All right.
And then I'm going
By
to...
the big guy, I mean Rufus.
Rufus. I'm then going to have my crystal on my staff is going to light up. And I'm going to pull the light from the staff and shoot 3 darts at the first cockroach.
Oh,
and,
all right.
Cast a magic missile at them.
Go for it.
I believe that is 1d4 force plus 1 force damage.
Do it one at a time.
Okay. 3.
Keep going.
4. So 7.
That one, it goes down.
Next one. 4.
All right. You have injured the second cockroach. Very much so. You put a bullet or a magic missile through its thorax, and it's like bleeding this disgusting green. Not even a goop, it's just a paste. This green, slimy paste. The first one goes down real quick. After Randall, it's Silas.
Ah, yes, what a great job and completely expected turn of events. Rufus, would you care to show us what you can do? And I'm just gonna bardic inspiration Rufus, and that's my turn.
Fun. What is the actual effect of that?
When you roll, presumably you're to hit, but you get to decide it after you roll anyway, and you can use it for, in the next, I think, 10 minutes, you get an extra d6.
Cool.
It works on, like, skills and saves and to hit.
Alright, it's Yara's turn. Yara swings her halberd at the remaining cockroach. And she unfortunately fails to hit it. She had very bad aim in that swing. She almost hit the ground. After Yara, we have the roaches. Sorry, Rufus, your last buddy. The remaining roach, actually, the only one left. Only having Yara within biting range just bites at her and clings on to her leg, dealing 5 points of damage. And you hear Yara scream, "Ouch! It's biting me! It's making my leg numb!"
No!
But she doesn't collapse, and you can see that she can still move her leg. She's just struggling to get the cockroach off of her. Rufus, your turn.
Okay. I'm just gonna pull out my swords and attack.
Seems like a pretty solid plan.
Yeah, that's kind of, yeah. Okay, so wait, I rolled a 17, I'm adding my proficiency bonus to the attack? Which
If you roll a 17, you are
I
solid.
probably hit?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my first sword hits it, where's it? 4, 5, plus 3 is 8 damage.
All right, yeah, you slash that cockroach, like you chop its head off, and it just twitches a little bit in the ground.
And there's still one more?
No, it was just 2 of them, and Randall blew one up with a spell.
I don't even get to use my offhand weapon. That's annoying.
And Yara's like, oh wow, that, these cockroaches are getting meaner.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'll be fine. She just like wraps a piece of clothing around her leg. She's like, it's all good. Help me bring this.
Of course she's okay. There's nothing dangerous out here.
Well, we did mention there's a few nets of cockroaches, but they haven't been this aggressive in a long time. Normally, we're the ones hunting them. Huh, that's odd. And she grabs another corpse. She's like, someone grab the other one. Let's go back to camp. We got to get these jerkied up for rations.
I guess I'll go pick up the cockroach, but I use prestidigitation to, like, keep my hands clean.
You alright, Randall? Rufus, you're good to go?
Let's go.
Alright, so you guys go back to camp and you short rest while they prepare the cockroaches for meals in the future. At some point during the afternoon, you hear the hooting code that Silas. You never heard this combination of the code before, because this is what they consider a red alert. Something very bad happened that made them trigger this. And a few minutes later, one of the scouts comes in running at full throttle. And he's like, Yara, where's Yara? Yara, we need your help. And Yara is like busy shelling a cockroach. But she comes up and she's like, what's going on? We're in the middle of something. We have spotted 3 individuals riding here at full speed. We need to do something. And Yara looks at Silas. Silas, I leave this one to you. What should we do?
What individuals?
The kid that came in running. By the way, most of these like scouts and guards are just barely of age. They're all
Is
very
someone
young.
hurt?
He's like, well, not really, but we're concerned that they're coming here. What should we do?
I suppose we should go out to meet them.
And Yara is like, all right, so Silas, you keep an eye on these 2, because I don't know about them yet. And it's kind of convenient that they arrive, and right after, we get more visitors. For now, I'm gonna get the scouts together and go meet these people out on the road.
Okay. What a good call. I look forward to your report.
Alright, so Yara goes away, and what do you guys do?
I'm focusing to recover my spell slot.
Double check that
Continue.
But yeah, Yara goes away. Manuela comes, she's like, sweetie, I don't know why they're ringing that alarm. What did they see, really? Huh. Interesting. They did say riding. We haven't seen anyone on horseback or on any kind of mount in a long time. Maybe that's why they're so scared?
For those listening at home, Ben successfully proved that he gets
Just spells back.
his spells back to first level. Yes. Well, why don't you ensure the safety of the children, and we will go meet Yara and ensure that they have no ill will.
All right. We shall do so. Yeah, we'll put everyone in a safe space while you guys go and handle these new visitors. Is there anything we can do to help? Anything we can provide for you? Any weapons you two may need? We do have a cache of crafted weapons and recovered weapons.
I'll go take a look.
Any weapons around the player's handbook are available there if you need any.
I'll take a
And
couple
within
daggers
reason,
and darts.
they will let you grab whatever you need.
I'll take a couple daggers and darts.
Write it down.
I'm just sort of standing by the back of the room while he does this. Keep glancing out the door.
Are there long swords in there?
Yeah. There's, you know what? Let's
I'm
see.
gonna swap out my short swords for long swords, because we determined that I can do that.
There's not 2 of them. You can get one.
One of
for
them?
sure. Yes.
Well, then I'm taking a long sword.
2 daggers, 10 darts.
That's fine.
So as people start scurrying around, and y'all are grabbing your weapons out of the storage shed, I close the I poke my head out and I close the tent flap. Yeah, guys, so we don't use that alert. There's something really wrong, and I am in way over my head here. Please help out.
What exactly do you know is happening?
No idea, but if there's someone coming and they're mad, I don't know. I've never been in a fight before. Like, come on. I don't know what is going on here.
Calm down. Take a deep breath. What direction are they coming from?
I mean, Yaris pointed that way.
Is there anyone else that we know coming? From any other direction?
They didn't say that. Why would I know? I've been here with you.
So, Shane, so all you guys know about the alert is that alert is used when riders are spotted. And that's a red alert because in the past, anything that was on a mount was a dangerous person.
Look, y'all are actually strong. Please come with me and help me with this.
I'd rather fight than die.
Then I just, go right out the tent flap looking for the group.
And I just follow him.
I follow. I'm also order a couple troops to the back. Just in case they sneak.
I'll mention it to Yara. And, the second I'm into the street and there's a kid running back. Ah, yes! Run to safety. Please stay under your tables and bury yourself nicely.
I want to make an insight check on Silas.
You don't have to.
You can clearly tell that he is putting on this very strong facade for the community, but he is as scared as everyone else is.
Okay.
Or at least is what I'm getting from Silas so far.
Yeah, I didn't expect us to have a combat with those cockroaches, but I thought I did okay just being a little, I'll say, green. So then this is the end of episode 1.
Oh yeah,
Woo!
we can
Party noises!
End of episode 1!
we can also do let's stop here for today, and thanks for listening to the first episode of The Legend of Nat 1. I'm your DM, Herman Rodriguez.
Oh, I assumed you'd be going around the other way. I'm not ready.
All right, Shane, you take it up. Or should we
Start from the beginning.
from the beginning?
I don't know what we're even supposed to say.
I don't know why we're taking 2. I think we should just keep going. I'm Shane Cherry. I played Silas Cantor. If you are New York local, I host parties on Saturdays and Thursdays for LGBTQIA plus nerds. So come out and have a good time.
I'm Ben Boss. I played Randall. I have nothing to plug.
I'm Dave. I played Rufus, and I also got nothing.
All right, everyone. If you liked it, please come back for episode 2. Send us an email at legendofnat1@gmail. Remember to subscribe and leave us a review. Tell us how much you love us.
I'm glad you added all that. I hope we end up on some podcasting services.
I'm assuming we uploaded this to Apple Podcasts tomorrow.